Hey, user Rex, I'm Johnny.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
And this is going to be a review for Captain America Brave New World.
Oh.
So this is fresh thoughts one day after watching it.
Yes.
Overall, well, I guess the best way, I've seen a few people do this, is they give their grades a quick summary of their feelings, and then we go into spoilers to explain those grades.
Yes.
Okay.
Okie doke. I thought that it was fairly predictable. Like I didn't feel terribly invested while watching the movie. Is kind of how I felt, but that I would still say, oh, it's a good movie. Like if you wanted to go watch the movie, I'd be like, yeah, go watch the movie. But it wasn't a spectacular movie. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yeah, I was hoping for a little more claws, grab
Investment.
grab
You wanted more
in my.
depth?
I guess
Oh.
depth. I don't know, something to hold my
The hook wasn't
the
strong.
hook. Yeah, it's not. It wasn't very deep of a hook in my soul. But I enjoyed it. I did enjoy, as I said yesterday in our discussion, I did enjoy the acting. It's not perfect, but I liked the characters and how everybody did their roles, and I was able to hate this one and love this one at this point, and then warm up to this one, and then like most of the action was pretty good. And overall, like I felt it was an okay. I'm kind of like with you. It was like it was okay. I wasn't blown out of the water, and I wanted more from it. So maybe that was part of my problem. Like I went in expecting too much. But I also it's big shoes to fill. Captain
Yeah.
America, this
Excellent.
whole Avengers saga.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to come off the heels of
It's
that.
all
and-
resting on their shoulders.
yeah, just like he's saying in the show, right? It's
Yeah.
resting on I feel a heavy weight, and it's true. It feels like he needs a lot of work still. I don't know. I was saying before, I don't know if it's the acting needs work or the plot needs work. I don't know, but I like him.
Yeah.
So
I like him.
I'm like,
He's pretty fun. Yeah, I like
I'll
him.
watch your shows, dude.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say on the acting as well, especially when we get to spoiler talk. But I actually found myself, I think I enjoyed it the most out of everyone. I really enjoyed the action scenes. I love the fight scenes, especially with Sidewinder. I feel like the trailers did a disservice to this movie.
Yeah.
The trailers
didn't
put a
see
lot of
trailers.
emphasis on Red Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a
Yes.
spoiler to say, do not watch this as a movie about the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Or like
It's not a
Captain
Hulk
fighting
movie.
Hulk.
Yeah.
No. Though there are some things in the movie that will try to convince you that this was almost a Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is about, if you look back at the other Captain America movies, there's always like a layer of espionage there. It tries to keep it level somewhat grounded. But he can fight Hulk-like beings, but usually it's a very human element to his movies.
Yes.
So you're going to get a human element to this movie. But the Hulk thing is a bit of a disappointment. The way that fight turned, not the way the fight turned out, but the way that whole build-up happened.
Situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the movie making you think, or not the movie, sorry, the trailer is making you think the movie is going to be about that. It's
Yeah.
not really.
Yes.
That's
I
probably
agree.
what threw me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I expected a lot more of him than I got, and I think that's because I think I was waiting, like, oh, when's it coming? When's it coming?
Yeah.
And then it didn't come till when it came, and I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. We got a trailer for this movie while waiting for the movie to start.
Yeah.
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 Why did they do that?
That
Like
was
twice.
also very funny.
In the previews, like, what the heck?
They did the teaser and the trailer.
Theater. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Why?
But yeah, I mean, maybe just give our grades and then we can explain our overall thoughts.
Yes. My grade is I'm gonna give it a B. I honestly I feel like it's very forgettable to me. I feel like if I didn't watch this, I wouldn't have felt like I missed something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dang. Like, I think based on my feelings about it, it should get a B, but like my heart says no.
So like a C plus?
I want no. I want to give it higher.
Oh wow.
I want to give it A minus, but I feel like it's not an A minus. I think it is a B show, but I want to give it A minus because I don't know. I like the guy, and
Yeah,
I want him to be a good Captain America.
Yeah.
I really do. I want him to succeed.
You want it to be
but
a better movie than it is.
I want it to be a better movie than it is. Yeah. So like, for the spirit of it, I'll give it an A minus.
I put like a movie like an A- question mark.
Question mark.
It's kind of funny how they turn out this because I'm actually giving it a B-.
Oh, really?
Out of all of us, I thought it was most positive.
You're the most negative. You're like, wow, guys, it's better than I expected. It's B minus.
Well, the thing is, right, for B movies, I don't see B movies as at below average or even average. I see them as average. I think this was below average in terms of what it is. As a Captain America movie, as a movie in the Marvel universe, I feel like they've got a lot more going for them. The more I think about it, the more errors or problems I see with the plot, and the more I see things like, okay, the whole Celestial Island thing. If you're not caught up to speed on every single piece
that
of
was just
media,
confusing.
Yeah, that was like, what the heck is that? Should I care?
And then it was like, okay, I guess we're doing this now.
I only knew about it because I've seen people talk about like the Eternals and stuff, and I don't even really know what it is or what caused that to be there. You know, so I mean, yeah, I think it's relying too much on external factors in this movie.
Yeah, that might be it. I was gonna also say, I like that. We should come back to that in the spoiler section. I was also gonna say, I feel like also because it's supposed to be like the beginning of a new era.
Yeah,
It's light.
it does not feel like the beginning of New Year.
Yeah, should it be heavier? Like, because I'm thinking of that as that's its excuse. You know, maybe I'm wrong because I'm a normie, but you know, I'm thinking like, oh, it's the beginning of a new era. We're just getting an introduction into this world direction and where we're going. You know, we're starting a new direction here. We had that. We'll talk about that.
It's called Brave New World.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, we're just starting a new thing. So we're gonna release the lore little by little. But perhaps that's not how you should be doing. It should be, you know, giving so many hints that you're asking too many questions that you need more. Maybe that's how it should have been done. You know, I don't know.
I kind of have been approaching all of the Marvel movies after Guardians of the Galaxy, actually. After the first Guardians of the Galaxy, I've been basically comparing every Marvel movie of like how it made me feel to how Iron Man 2 made me feel. Specifically Iron Man 2 for some reason. Because Iron Man 2, it was exciting, and I still didn't know what to expect because it's like Iron Man was new to me until the movies. Like I never knew anything about like Marvel, the superheroes of that until they just started coming out with Iron Man 1 and whatever. So Iron Man 2 was kind of what I graded based off of, and it's my base level enjoyment of this is a fun action movie. And I haven't been getting that with this movie. I still haven't looked at a fight scene and be like, oh my gosh, that was a really cool move, which is usually what I feel with Marvel movies is like, oh, that was a cool move. That was really smart. But I haven't really been wowed by anything. And I'm not trying to be blown out of the water completely just to be like, ooh.
I feel like they were trying to do that a lot though in the movie. You could tell moments, slow-mo moments.
Yeah.
Where like, look at this.
Yeah.
And like, I'm looking.
Basically, yeah.
And I think that's where we differ because I did feel that.
Yeah, you liked the
I
fight
really
scenes.
enjoyed the fight scenes.
Yeah.
No, but I was taken out of the moment when they did the slow-mos. I was like, I see we're doing
It
a
did
thing
take me out of
here.
it.
I feel like that kind of I am cool and you need to just accept that kind of feeling is what I got from the other Marvel movies.
Yes.
They didn't try to force itself to make it. This one felt like I need you to accept me, you know?
It's like this is
feel
the moment.
this is
Have
me.
the moment. Yes.
And accept me.
But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up the summary of our feelings of the movie. So if you're interested or not, take that into consideration. Now we're going to start talking about spoilers about this show. Talk about details. So all right, spoiler section. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started off Moff Gideon.
Yes, Moff Gideon.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes, name will never stick. He's Moff Gideon.
He's Moff Gideon.
His first name Moff, last name Gideon.
Moff Gideon plays Moff Gideon in Brave New World.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I was
great.
I was pleasantly surprised to see him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him.
Yeah, and his fighting was also good. Like later in the movie, like it would be his second scene in the movie.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
That was great. I loved him but that's one thing I love I don't know what it is about, like, you're driving your car down the road and someone just steps out with a gun and shoots at you. I always love it. Every time a movie does that. Like, I've never been disappointed. I've never been disappointed.
I liked it because it's just like, this guy is very, very dangerous.
Yes.
He will just kill you.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the middle of public, like, cars are driving and he
This
just
is a
steps out.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was nice, yeah. And also, like, how quickly he was taking care, like, him getting knocked off, like, double air kicked
Oh, yeah.
off of the car, and then him just being, like, out for the count. I'm like, that's a real person.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an actual that's the level of a real human can take, actually.
I was questioning it, though.
At first,
the
I was like,
fight
why isn't he
earlier-
getting oh, right, he's a human.
No, earlier in the fight, I mean, like some of the hits they were both taking, I was like,
Yeah.
he's gonna be in pain after, like not Falcon, Cap's gonna be in pain after this, but why is he not down yet? Like, he's gotten quite a few knocks. I don't know, man. That's a small frame.
Yes.
So I was like, is he a super? Like, did he take super serum?
Yeah. I did actually question that a little bit during this fight for Captain. I was like, what? He got stabbed.
They purposely
And then
showed
he
it
got
was not in his heart, though.
stabbed. Yeah, but still, a regular person would be like, ow.
Yeah. But they also said he was wearing Kevlar later.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did they? I missed that.
He was saying Perk's job after he said, you got hit with an axe to the stomach. How are you still walking fine? Pretty much what he said.
Okay.
Okay, I missed
But
that.
I really enjoyed it, though, that he didn't move much.
Yeah.
Because if
I
you're
was
gonna
like,
not
oh.
take the serum, you gotta be like that.
Yes.
Yes.
So I actually didn't know he didn't take Kevlar. Was wearing Kevlar. I was just thinking, like, he's practiced getting hit by Isaiah so much.
He is a
He is-
Navy SEAL Marine
Yeah.
Special Forces.
Yes. Basically.
True.
Basically.
Also, when Serpent was threatening the priest and the nuns, I was fully ready for the nun to be like, I'm the buyer. I don't know why, but one of the nuns looked so nonchalant being here. I don't know why. I was just expecting her to kill
I think I
everyone.
know who you're talking about.
Yes,
There was one
just-
of them that was like, you're calm, aren't you?
Yes! She uncuffed and then she just walked away. I'm like, okay.
Listen, be great actors. It's all right.
Back to players.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually really enjoyed. What's his other name? I just know his name.
Giancarlo
Anthony
Esposito.
No,
Mackie?
Joaquin something.
Oh.
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
He has two names though. Anyways, I liked his acting. Like, I thought from when we saw him, there was that one point where he was a little annoying, but like for the most part, his little comedic act
Yeah.
was pretty enjoyable.
Yes.
I liked his character.
Yes, same.
It was enjoyable.
I wasn't annoyed by him at all.
Yeah.
I was
expecting
being
it.
ready
Yeah,
to
it's
be
like
annoyed by
you're
him.
gonna get on
Never
my
got there.
nerves soon.
Yeah. There's just
Waiting.
that one time in the car that it was like, I used to play games like this on my phone.
Yeah, that's a little bit
I
like,
can hear the executives say, hey, ham it up. We need people to like you.
yeah,
That's so forced.
yeah.
Too much.
So other than that, it's like, yeah, he's an eager golden retriever trying to get in.
Yeah.
With Cat. I'm
And
fine with that.
And I liked the part where he goes after he gets the canister and like nobody's there to see his cool moves.
Yeah.
It's like that was the first introduction to his like quirkiness of being like, he's like, you can't be in two places at once, Cat. Come on, just let me go. And it's like, yes. And it's like, no one's gonna see any of your good moves. It's okay. You're on your own there.
Yes.
But I kind of like that scene for that, because like, oh, that was kind of cool. No one to notice.
Yes, indeed.
I gotta ask though, what did you think about the villain? Because I did look around at some other people's takes on this movie, and very interesting takes on the villain.
I feel like he either shouldn't have been caught as
Yeah.
easily as he was, or he shouldn't have been as smart as he was if he was going to get caught like that.
Yeah, I guess I expected him to have something else up his sleeve.
Yes.
For the reason I'm like, you do not want to take him. When they came to take him, it's like, don't take him. Let him go, please. Like, I was scared of him. Like, I was intimidated by him, his knowledge, because he was able to brainwash people. It's like, don't let him touch you. You're getting too close. Why are you going too close? You know, like, I was intimidated by his brains until he got taken away and like, wait, you're letting them take you? I thought he was just gonna like send a shockwave or something and like kill everybody. But
I can see what you guys are talking about, because I got through that whole movie his powers are BS. Being able to see the probabilities and all this, I think they wrote themselves into a corner with that, because either he's going to be one of the smartest, most dangerous characters in all of Marvel, or it's going to be something has to kill him. Like, how do you beat someone who can see the probability of everything? It doesn't make sense. That's why I think the whole him turning himself in was supposed to be almost a "you would have never caught me if I didn't do this myself" kind of thing. I can do everything I want from prison is the vibe I think they were going for, but it really was just kind of cheesy, and it didn't feel earned.
And for me, it's more like he's doing all of this because he got petty.
Yes.
Basically, that he wasn't let out. So why is he willingly going back in?
Yeah. The thing that I think most difficult is he's able to see probabilities, right?
Yeah.
But Captain America kept throwing him off.
Yes. Yes, his powers, the way it's explained, and we have established that it got the guy the presidency, it got Harrison Ford the presidency with the powers, right?
Yep.
And also, it got him out of prison. It got everybody in the prison brainwashed under him. So evidently, it's powerful and it works. So his powers are at the level where he should be untouchable. So then, how is it Captain America just easily beats him like that? It felt kind of easy.
Yeah.
Twice.
He was like, there was an 80-something% probability you turned around after hearing about Isaiah, but you didn't. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, if one time is like, okay, I understand, the probability, it's not 100% accurate, it's a probability. But then the second time is like, yeah.
Do you think this is a character design flaw? Because they could have made this work.
I think they could have.
If they had shown more strategic thinking on Captain's side, like he's more of a rogue thinker or something, kind of like Steve, where you never expect him to, like, he's Captain America and he went against the government.
Yeah.
What? Never expected that. So something like that coming from Sam would have made, but you never see any sort of like introspection. Something else too, with Captain America that I expected more of, like So he didn't believe Ross changed, but he did. But he didn't. But he did. But he
That's
did.
true, actually.
You know what I mean? I was so confused. It's like, wait, who believes what? Like, I know Taylor. Taylor, like, wants to believe Ross changed. Betty doesn't believe Ross changed. Like, where does Cap stand? I don't know. Like, I know that in the end they were trying to make it clear we were on different sides of this. How come you're here? I'm like, oh, is that what was happening? Is that it?
There was a couple of moments where even Ross, I felt like, was unduly hostile towards Captain America.
Yes.
Especially in the beginning of the movie, it's like, wait,
Yeah.
didn't he save your life though?
Yeah.
You would have died if he wasn't in the room. Why are you suddenly? Oh, the deal's off the table when your friend tries to kill. Obviously, something went wrong.
Yes.
Especially because we all know the Winter Soldier exists and everybody knows the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why did he scoff when it's like mind control? It's like, mind
Yeah, what the
We
heck?
know mind control
It makes
exists.
no sense. Yeah.
Why would a decorated... Sure, he had a sketchy past with the government, but why would a soldier who's close to Captain America suddenly get up in the middle of the White House, try to shoot you, and then run away? That's a suicide mission.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
And on top of that,
Other soldiers.
yeah, and on top of that, like he was not invited. He happened to be invited because he was friends with. But he was definitely part of the insurgency. You know?
I was expecting, and it didn't happen. I was like, that was like low hanging fruit. Like, I was expecting for what's his name, Sam was like, but I invited him, and then he'd be like, so you're the one, like, and then now he's under suspicion, and then he'd be running from the government. That was
being so predictable.
That would be so easy.
Yeah.
But they didn't go that way. It's like, all right, you're not gonna go that way. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was easy. You didn't do it, but they didn't do anything else either.
No. I kept expecting that the diminutive lady who was the head of security, I kept expecting her to make some kind of breakthrough earlier on of being like, there's no way that this is what it seems like. Because again, like, not only did Isaiah go rogue, 4 other soldiers with no history just tried to kill the president.
Yeah.
And that's not setting off red flags.
But yeah, there's so much. But I mean, we're nitpicking this to death. I feel bad.
It's because it's
a great
the first
show.
time we've talked
As
about
we're
it all
talking
together.
about it, I
We're
was
like,
thinking,
wait a minute.
You sound so much more
Negative
vitriolic and
than-
negative.
It's not that bad.
But that's why I gave it the B-, because I'm thinking about it, it's like, as I think about this movie, the
Just
more
and
I've
more
got
stuff.
things to say about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a couple of days I'd have like dozens of more thoughts on this movie. But I did enjoy it while I was watching it.
Yeah. What did you think about getting basically a Walmart Natasha?
Ouch.
I mean,
You're not wrong.
she has
not
the
as
same
cool.
hair.
Yeah.
They're doing the same
From the like, she was in the red
petite
room.
woman.
Oh, okay.
Doing really cool aerials.
It's
stuff.
not work. As a character, I guess we could possibly go somewhere like
Yeah.
she's a little bit interesting, but we didn't get enough of her to be like, okay, I really want more of this character.
Yeah.
But also, I did not buy the physicality at all.
No.
I said this yesterday when I was talking to you guys, where with Black Widow, she always had her thing where it's like she jumps on the person and she does the weird flip in the air. That's
Yeah.
what she did like 13 times in all
Yes.
the movies. Right? With this lady, she straight up just punched someone. There's one time they're breaking out of the prison, and I made mention how she slipped past one person and she grabbed the vest of the guard who was like 6 feet tall, and she pulled him up and body slammed to the floor.
Yeah.
And that took me out of it. It's just like, I can buy a lot of the weird, crazy superhero nonsense that these guys are doing, but if you're gonna have a character be that much more diminutive than everyone else, and it's not the actor's fault, but if you're gonna have that, you have to work with it.
Yeah.
You have to have some way. How does she get her edge in the situations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's a Red Room assassin. She's gonna have to have found a way to work with this.
Yeah.
Her power bombing someone doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think they needed a little bit more design and thought
Yeah.
into her fighting style, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I did warm up to her as a character.
I was gonna say
Same.
I liked her. Like I hated her at first. It was
Yeah.
like, "Arr, get out of my face," and then they made me like her. I was like, oh, okay, good job, show.
Same.
I especially because she thought and she figured things out quickly.
Yes.
And you could see she wasn't being like stubborn about it,
Yes.
like Ross. You know, she
It
was
was like,
like,
something's going on. I need
Yeah.
to go address this.
Yeah.
And then she was going to the ball game with Isaiah as well. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I like you now. Apparently she's into older guys.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why this talks that.
100 and something years old. I can work with that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Also, it's just, I think it's kind of hilarious. I get that there was things going on, but when Betty called Ross, I was like, I should have called after the assassination attempt. Yeah, you should have called after the assassination attempt. That is one of the, I feel like that's meme-worthy line.
Yeah.
Should have called after you nearly died. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
she could have given an excuse. Still, it's like I should have called, but I was afraid of how things have been between us. Something
Yeah,
like a
that'd be
reason.
better.
Yeah, just a little reason. Because I can understand that. Like you've been at a standoff with your father for like
long time.
years, maybe. I don't know how long it's been. And like he almost died. And like it's like you're like feeling paralyzed. Like I should do something. I should do something, but. You know, you kind of don't do something and then you feel awkward because you took so long not
Yeah,
doing something.
yeah.
I can understand that, but I guess they didn't want to give it too much attention.
Even during the movie, I think I heard you guys whispering. It was like, is that her?
Yeah.
Is it really her?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a fake her.
Yeah.
It's like
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
That line.
It's really the leader guy. It's the mastermind, whatever his name
Yeah.
is.
But no, it was just,
It was her.
It was her.
They hung up and everything was fine. I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
I was really surprised by that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, that's gonna calm him right down because
Yeah.
now the crux of his issue
Yeah.
is no longer an issue because now his
Yeah.
daughter is communicating. She
Yeah.
opened the path. She opened the door.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Immediately nuts, yes. Like, my gosh.
Eh.
Dude.
So, let's talk about the talk no jutsu that was just, talk.
Quick question.
Yes.
So he basically turns into the Hulk when he's angry, which is the normal Hulk thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But was it that his pills was making him quicker to anger, or was he just always a hot-tempered person?
I think he's hot-tempered.
Yeah.
And I think he always had a heart issue, probably maybe because of that.
Yeah. It's just.
It
But I
still
think-
seemed like I have to talk to them. You're not gonna let me.
No,
Let
that's how
me?
he is, because he also had like that nervous breakdown in the flashback when we did the mustache. He, like,
Yeah,
yelled
remember,
at the press.
he's like that. But it's just because the anger he gets is the more he'll activate it. And the more he took the pills is the stronger the reaction would be.
Which I think relates to his problems with Betty. It's not just the banner thing. I get the feeling
That's
he's probably
just
like
how
a
he
very
is.
yelling father, probably growing
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, why no William Hart?
He did die.
Oh, really? Oh.
Well, that explains it.
Oh.
Just occurred to me. It's like, why would they? That's because he's actually an established actor. He's not
Yes,
just nobody.
he's a very well-known actor. Yeah. Oh.
Speaking of Betty, by the way, I don't know. Did you guys get this feeling? Because maybe I'm just looking into it too much. But when Betty was on the phone, and then when Betty actually showed up in the movie, by the way, she has not aged a day.
Yes.
When she showed up at the very end of the movie, the emotion that she brought with just her few lines was so much more than anyone else
In the whole show.
movie. And not just this movie, multiple movies. I immediately just got this feeling of like, in the earlier days of the MCU, the caliber of actors that were brought in were so high. And I'm not saying that everyone necessarily is a bad actor, but when you've got someone like Harrison Ford, and apparently a very good actor who I'm not like big on actors' names. I only know a few of them. But someone like her, the quality was just so high in that scene, I felt. So it's like, is this like an image of how things have degraded over time? Because that was like really good. It actually tugged on my heartstrings hearing her talk to her dad. There was like, oh my gosh, that's
It's
beautiful.
a very touching scene.
Actually
yeah.
beautiful.
Okay, maybe this is just me. I felt nothing. I felt nothing. Nothing when she was on the phone. Nothing when I was
No,
watching
the
her-
phone
The
was.
phone wasn't as big.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
phone I was a little off, but I liked that ending scene. I was crying a little bit at it.
I was waiting for it to end because I really didn't feel anything.
Wow.
But maybe that's just me.
Okay. No, that's fine. It's just, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, no one else has come close to that. And I could see the disparity in maybe skill, I guess.
I maybe it was that it did feel like a stark change in pace. Maybe that's why I stepped out of it because it did feel like the scene went into a different, like it was a separate movie, like a second.
Yeah,
movie.
her scene did feel like a
was-
different feeling completely. I almost thought her face was CGI. It's like, that's not her.
Maybe it was.
But I expected her at the same time because when he came to visit, I was like, Betty's probably close by. And then he was like, I gotta leave. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to finish his line before I was like, oh, she's here. But I don't know. I thought I liked her in that scene. Just the phone scene I didn't really appreciate. But I was trying to think about like Sam's acting, like in comparison. And I can't say, maybe I'm just not cultured enough when it comes to like noticing actors' acting ability. I can't say that I could pick up any one thing that made his acting subpar. I couldn't tell you
Well,
what
I
it would
couldn't
be.
either. I'm just going off of pure feeling.
Feeling,
Same.
yeah,
Of,
intuition.
I felt the scene and I felt sorry for Harrison Ford's character and Betty Ross' character. Whereas with everything with I guess Anthony Mackie, which is like, this is an action scene. That's a good moment. It's like, oh, I feel proud of him doing this, but nothing deep.
But
Like
what's-
nothing actual.
Yeah, but what's interesting, even when Bucky came into the scene, I was kind of expecting like to get like more into it now because now we're back to like the Captain America and Winter Soldier vibe, which
Yeah.
was very entertaining series. So I was expecting to go back into that vibe and like to get that banter back, but even then it still felt dry with when Bucky was on
I
the
felt
screen.
that. I felt the dryness there.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this does not feel like a warm reunion, and it also doesn't really feel like Bucky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, who is this?
Who is this
Sebastian
congressman?
That's Sebastian Stan right there.
Sebastian Stan.
He's a congressman.
Yeah, what the heck is that
That-
about?
I don't know. that
Although
whole
I
felt
did
odd.
watch the what do you call it? The trailer for Thunderbolts, and I think they're kind of gonna do an interesting angle with that.
Oh.
With his
So-
chairmanism.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he's not gonna be like a typical chairman.
Well, I could get that he's definitely not. I think he's doing it for some reason because he's like, I gotta do this stupid, campaign thing.
Yeah.
So he's doing it to some other end. But I guess they're just like tucking him in here to say he's not gonna be a part of this world.
Yeah.
He's doing something else, kind of thing.
Yeah, the little banter with like, did your speech writers write that for? It's like, yes,
That
they
was pretty
did.
good.
That was, yeah, that was nice. They cannot let each other have a win. No.
See, that moment, that harkens back to when we were watching the TV shows. Like,
Yes.
there's actually some decent chemistry between the two.
Yes.
Like, they can bounce off each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if that ending didn't happen, I'd be like, these guys don't feel like friends.
No.
But the ending is like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah, and then we have Talk No Jutsu. How did you guys feel about the Talk No Jutsu?
It was lame.
He was lame.
I
I
guess,
wanted
yeah.
more. Like, I was happy when he tried it first and it didn't work. I was like, good. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
needs to be hard. And then he
Yes.
did it a second time and it landed. I was like, what?
But I say
No.
the same things.
Yes.
He said the same thing.
Yeah. you mentioned it last night. You were like, but what about Betty? Dang, it didn't work. But what about Betty? Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I was saying like the Hulk. I have a lot of leeway for talking down the Hulk because it's a lot of cartoons, all the other movies. It can be somewhat cheesy the way they talk him down, like the lullaby almost with Black Widow, or in the original Hulk movies where Betty Ross kind of does that with him. But in this, it just felt so quick, and also felt like because he rejected that reasoning earlier, just like okay, now it's working.
Yeah.
I guess he just had to get it out of the system.
Yeah.
But I do also know when he gets hit really hard. Sometimes, like
Hulk?
sometimes the Hulk.
Yes.
Sometimes when he gets hit really hard, he gets angrier. But then sometimes when he gets hit really hard, it's like kind of gets his attention and he'll listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's I think was what was happening because he was walking slower. He was actually focusing on his words. Whereas before, when they had just landed, he was not even. He was like screaming like an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could have been the reason why he listened.
I think it kind of has to be actually
Yeah.
because it was like I said, they said the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of saying the same thing twice, well, actually, he didn't say what he felt about saying.
I think part of what would have made it better is if they had actually had conversation during the fighting.
yeah.
Which is usually what happens during Marvel movies when
Yeah.
they do talk no jutsu. Usually it's happening while fists are flying.
Yeah.
You know? So I think because there was no extra bridge to that moment, that's what
ruined
made
it.
it so like jazz hands. you know?
Yeah.
Something I just want to touch on in case we don't get back to it. I feel like the entire movie was retreading old ground that we broke in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I keep calling it Winter Soldier. What was the name of that show?
It was Captain America and
Captain
Phil
America
Winker.
and
Okay.
Yeah. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not Captain America. It's Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, sure.
Captain Falcon
Yes.
and the Winter Soldier. in that TV show, I
Nice.
feel like a lot of that was dealing with him becoming Captain America, him accepting the role, him trying to be enough, prove himself, and it's all well and good that that's not entirely finished, but I feel like so much of this movie, when he was talking about his own feelings on things, was dedicated to that. I feel like if you were trying to do this whole Brave New World thing, he
He
needs
should
to
have been more.
put more in situations where he had to show a different Captain America. This just felt like he's doing what he's always done, and I didn't really feel the sense of anything new. I also didn't really feel the sense of, as a character arc, anything new, because we've seen all this in Captain America and Winter Soldier. So I was just waiting for that.
I just realized
What?
I didn't get any Brave New World.
Yeah.
I've been gypped.
I feel like the Brave New World was supposed to be in regards to like the adamantium with Celestial Island, which I think the fact that we haven't even mentioned the main plot point of this whole movie till now says a lot.
Right, that was the main plot, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, most of it felt like it was about the treaty between America and
Japan.
and also Vibranium's in there somewhere. But like, apparently that was also like the whole thing. So it feels like they got the priorities swapped around. But yeah,
I mean, I know they were trying to say this will revolutionize technology and all this, and I know we all know adamantium's a big deal because in a Wolverine skeleton.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're trying to like bring in the mutants into the
Mutants
universe.
next, yeah.
But I didn't feel any sense of this is going to be big, which is it really should have.
Yeah.
I mean, the island is massive. That's pretty cool. You
Yes.
know, but I didn't feel a sense of this is going to be big for the universe.
It might be that was more heavily dealt with in the Eternals, the one where it actually landed.
Maybe.
I think did they say it landed or that
It said
it
it
came up?
emerged out of.
Yeah,
Merged.
there it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know it happened in Eternals.
So maybe it was dealt with more of being like this is crazy, you know, more in that one, and this one they wanted to focus more on Captain America. And by the way, this is happening. But the Brave New World aspect,
What is that?
what is that? They just maybe they only included the adamantium thing so they could call it Brave New World. Like what the heck?
I think it was because they were gonna start using, like the whole world was gonna start using
adamantium.
adamantium in order to protect themselves from celestial threats and like aliens and everything like that. But it didn't.
It didn't land.
Yeah, the fact that we like completely forgot that this is like this is global defense is kind of
Telling.
yeah.
And I think that's where it also, what I was saying, like this movie relies too much on external forces.
That's what I wanted to come back to.
I
Yeah.
feel like this whole Eternals. The thing is, I'm assuming a lot that the Eternals even made this as big of a deal as I feel like it should have been.
Yeah.
But I feel like this movie should have talked more about things that were important to us, like the adamantium. That should be more of a focal point. Maybe we don't even have Red Hulk in this movie. I mean, make this all about trying to figure out how the adamantium is changing the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels like there was a lot of things in this movie that didn't matter as much as they should have, or things that they were treating like should matter a lot that didn't feel like it.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I feel like if you took Red Hulk out of this movie,
It would have been the same movie.
it could have A would have been the same movie, and B might have had a more interesting plot point. Because
I think
now
it
it
would've
would
been more
be
boring.
Well,
I
now
think
it
I
would
would've
be
been scared of that.
Well, Captain America is specifically trying to find out who's trying to take the adamantium. How is it going to affect the world? That kind of thing. Who's trying to set up the countries against each other? I don't know.
I was gonna comment on the whole support from previous movies. I'm trying to remember, like, the problem is, like, when we watched the previous Marvel movies, we watched all of them.
Yeah.
So we didn't really feel that sense of, oh, I don't know what that's
are we
about.
talking
Like,
about?
because we knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we are, like, not on track anymore since that last Avengers part 3, it's like we're starting to feel like what other people who don't follow
Yeah.
everything might feel, and why other people might not be as into it. Because who knows, maybe this is how it always has been. Like, they always relied on your previous knowledge of previous movies,
Maybe.
and we're just like, because we're out of it, we're not.
It's possible, but I do feel like
Like the other movies were able to stand alone.
I feel like they were all standalone, and when there were things from other movies, usually it was explained immediately, or it was just not that important to the plot. In this situation, the island is so important to the plot because it adds weight to what the movie's about.
Yeah, there was an entire like arc in there
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
But I didn't feel the weight to it because I
No.
don't understand this island.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like, oh, we're going to some place out in the ocean.
It'd be like if we picked up with the movies without ever understanding what people talk about with the blip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we all know that was important, and we
Yeah.
all know why that together motto actually matters. Is because
Yeah.
half the population
It
just
was
came back.
gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it was hard integrating back, yeah. But I don't know, maybe there was a way for them to, yeah, you might be right. Maybe it does just rely too much on external things, and it's just not solid enough on its own.
Yeah. But yeah. My final thoughts was Ruth was small, and Isaiah was king. Isaiah was great. Loved Isaiah.
I liked Isaiah.
Isaiah was great.
He was a great actor.
Like
in that
you had
show.
mentioned yesterday,
presence.
pretty much every time he was on screen, he was more interesting than anybody there. I loved Isaiah. He was great.
Yeah, with Captain, I don't know. He's still a secondary character in my mind. I don't know if that's necessarily because he was introduced as a sidekick kind of thing, or if that's an actor thing. But when he's on screen, I don't feel like the presence of Captain America. When Steve is on screen, that's Captain America. Everything in the scene is focused on him, and also when he's speaking, when he's just walking around, you kind of feel like he's
He has
the
a
main
presence.
character.
Yeah.
I just don't feel that with the current Captain America, but I did feel that with other characters like Isaiah. And maybe it's just literally the physicality because both Steve and Isaiah are jacked, huge human beings.
I was thinking about that, wondering if Sam, what's his real name? Anthony needs to
Mackie.
put on some more
Like
muscle.
70 more pounds of muscle,
Yeah, thicken up that neck.
an extra foot.
Extra foot. No, he's tall enough. He just needs more. He's
Yeah.
a little too slender, maybe. But I mean, that kind of goes
He was
with.
supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it goes kind of with his style. He's more of a Falcon American.
Which worked for Falcon.
Yeah.
You know?
He should be Captain Eagle. Anyway. I'm sorry.
Eagle America.
But he's got like the vocal presence.
Yes.
He's got a commanding voice.
Yes.
It's just something about when he's on screen, I just don't feel like he's the main character.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they're not crafting his scenes correctly or something. I don't know.
I think the casting agent did a hell of a job when they were looking for a psychic. It's backfiring hard.
Oh, he's just too much of a sidekick character. Why does that remind me of a show that talked about main characters and sidekicks? What is the show where they talk about the sidekicks? You're just the side. No, it's
Go home, Bucky.
no, it's My Hero Academia. Sidekick abilities, where your ability is just you're gonna be a sidekick. That's what it makes me think of. Like
Sky High.
Sky High.
Is that what you're
It's
talking
Sky
about?
Sky High?
It's Sky High you're talking about.
maybe Sky High.
Yes, it is.
That's not what I was My
Like
Hero
your
Academia.
psychic, your hero, your psychic.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. That's what it was. Sky High. You guys
Not
are
the
in my
call
head.
back I expected in this movie review.
But yeah,
We decimated that poor show, guys. Go watch. Watch Captain America: Brave New World.
it's a good watch.
It's
good.
a good watch.
If you want to go out and you want to see a movie, it's probably better than a lot of other movies that are out there right now.
I like Marvel.
Early in the year, not a lot of great movies. If you want to see a good action
We're
movie,
in a dry
it's a
spell.
good action movie.
It is a good action movie, yes.
It'll entertain you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so B minus, B A minus question mark or A minus.
Yeah, I'll just keep it at A-.
A minus. Okay. So guys, thank you guys very much for being here for a review of my Captain America. I need to say My Hero Academia. Captain America: Brave New World.
Brave New World.
Guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Guys, if you liked the time, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. If you want to see anything that we do like weeks ahead, like we watch a lot of anime. Right now we've got Windbreaker, Apothecary Diaries, Delicious Dungeon, all of which you can see for 2 weeks ahead. Patreon is in the description. But either way, guys, thank you guys very much for being here. We'll see you in the city. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
And shout out to our patrons: Alex, Skillian, Gillian Tate, Alharion, Cravathan, Kano, Tyrone, Wills Willy Wills, Danvir Binja, Rare, Psycho 6, Jamal Wilson, NC Hawksman, Ichu, Deli, and to Eric Wang.